Hey, everybody. We're back. We are so back.
Back and better than ever.
Welcome to Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris and Gini.
I would be Chris.
And I'd be Gini. So I know we were gone for like 3 weeks again. As you guys know, we were on vacation, which we needed, and this is when we take our vacation winter. We don't go out anywhere for summer.
We found all the snow you could find in Utah. We had all of it, and then we came home to Florida with the flu.
Yeah. So last week we were going to do chats, and we didn't get over being dead. And Chris got dead, and then I was dead for 3 weeks, and we just have the really bad flu. So
I'm less dead today.
Yeah, and then I thought it was going away, and now it's back. So we're back, and the flu is back.
Worse than ever.
So tonight we're going to do Q&A. You ask, we answer. And, we always do Stump the Chump Chris, which in the last 10 years that we've been doing it, he's been stumped, I think, maybe 3 times.
Exactly 0 times.
It's 3 because he even said it.
She counts everything in multiples of 3s, but I've never been stumped.
So he's been stumped.
I haven't been.
So with that said, what we need you guys to do, go ahead, tag your coworkers, say hello, let us know that you're on, share it to your Facebook pages, and I will go ahead and do that right now. So
now, for those of you that are new here, like, what in the world is Wednesday night OWCP chats with Chris and Gini? So we're here to help you with your OWCP problems. Whatever problems you're having tonight, you should not be having tomorrow, because you can ask and I can answer the question. We have a franchise called Federal Injury Centers. You don't have to go to a Federal Injury Center's office to get the help that you need tonight. I'm here to answer the questions. It's an educational platform, and that's what we do. We've been doing it since 2016, and the chump has not been stumped ever. You're not going to start tonight. I don't care what she says. No matter what she says. She's just a typical wife that would revel in knowing her husband got stumped. It's never been happened ever.
Actually, yeah, it did. Actually, at the beginning of this year, when that guy asked you the question and you didn't even know the answer.
That's a lie. Well, he asked me a lie question. Nobody could answer that question.
AI did. So what is that?
Well, that's not true. So now we're just making stuff up. And she'll just do that. She'll make stuff up. AI didn't answer any questions for me.
All right, guys. We have... Frank, glad you guys are feeling better. Thank you, Frank. Maria, I'm so glad you guys are better. I don't know what this is, but I know, and I've been seeing this with people on Facebook, whatever this virus or flu that's come and is just lingering for 3.5 weeks now is still lingering. It sucks. It sucks very much.
Yeah, if you get it, don't admit to it being COVID.
Well, first of all, it's not COVID. It's the literally, this was the flu times 10. I don't normally stay in bed, and I stayed in bed almost a week. So it's been bad.
Fever,
he's still
chills,
coughing.
It's been BS. I woke up a couple of mornings. I was freezing in the morning. We live in Florida where it's not freezing. So anyways, tonight is
Q&A.
It's Q&A, Stump the Chump time. You're not going to get an opportunity to stump me, but I look forward to your questions. So whatever OWCP questions you have, bring them. Just ask them, type them into the chat, and we will read the question out loud, and I'll answer it.
Yes.
Looking forward to whatever nonsense you've got tonight, because we're not stumping the chump.
We saw, we know, what did I say? Hold on. Oh yeah, AFGE. They were in DC yesterday. We got to see
the It's actually really fun.
We sat there and I was like, who is that? We saw Tish, we saw Jason, we saw Cheryl, we saw Diane, we saw Otis, we saw Mr. Kelly, all of AFGE's MVP people, doing what they need to do to protect their union and their employees, which is always great to see. I have to say, they really...
I felt like we were there with them.
Yeah, it felt like we were there on the big screen. It felt like we were just standing.
So it's actually funny to have them out there, and we weren't there, but normally we would be.
We would have been there for sure. It's just literally since we got back from Utah, we've been literally trying to get over whatever it is that we have here. So
the effing flu.
Something like that. So, but Utah was great as always. The weather was perfect. We went snowmobiling in minus 15 degrees, and it literally did not feel like minus 15 degrees. It was hot.
So I tried crashing my snowmobile, and instead of crashing it, I stabilized it. But what happened is I tore my tricep tendon right at my elbow, like right there.
He did.
And but just like my dad, I went ahead and rode for another 90 minutes with one arm. Nobody else knew that was hurt except for Gini. I told her, like, hey, I think I tore a muscle.
I think I killed myself.
I'm hurt. But I went ahead and rode for another 90 minutes, one arm, because I didn't want to disappoint my father, who wasn't there, but he's eventually going to hear the story. So, Dad, I finished.
But the fun part was he fell in 2 feet of snow. Your snowmobile tipped over in 2 feet of snow, I thought that was the fun part.
But it didn't tip over. I didn't actually crash it.
No, he didn't. So, with that said, let's see. What do we got here, people? This is Q&A.
Well, we got Jenna. Jenna says, hello from Pennsylvania. First time catching a live video. Nice. Awesome. Welcome being here for the first time. I go to your Federal Injury Center in Rockville, Maryland. Glad you guys are feeling better. Well, you know what? We are. And thank you for that. Everyone that's had the flu, which is all of us, knows how bad it sucks. But today's a better day.
Frank said, Chris, happy wife, happy life. Yes.
Dude, I know.
Let's see. All right. Jenna. Hello from Arizona. Ed. How are you? Up? All right, guys. Bring your questions. Bring your OWCP injury questions.
Kathy said that she kicked butt at Top Golf. Now, look, I think Kathy, I was the one that
you were on her team.
I'm pretty sure I kicked butt, but I'll tell you, Kathy, and for all of you that were there, so we hung out with APW in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, locals.
Because
6, yeah.
Those are our friends, and so we were hanging out, and I hit 135 golf balls at Top Golf, and for 3 days later, I felt like I had the flu, and I did.
He did have the flu, and then he messed up his legs.
But I also had the worst body aches of all time. Like, I was asking my best friend who's a golfer, like, why does it hurt so bad to play golf? I was in so much pain. My back, my legs, my hamstrings and my shoulders. Like, holy crap. I hit 135 golf balls. Like, it felt fine until tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and not so good anymore.
But yeah, it was really fun with APW Salt Lake.
Kathy
really
said I kicked butt. Okay. Yeah. But then it kicked my butt. And tell all your friends.
All right, let's get here with these questions. We have, when on OWCP and you reach your MMI and apply for a schedule award is something you all help with. What is the difference between a schedule award and a medical disability?
Well, disability is different because that's saying that you can no longer do the job that you were doing when you got hurt. But disability can be all kinds of things that have nothing to do with workers' comp. I wrote several books, and one of them I wrote a story about a guy who was fishing on spring break, and a shark took off his arm. Well, that was clearly not a work-related injury, but because the shark took your arm out, while you're a federal employee, you qualify for disability.
Yes.
So you can qualify for disability without it being workers' comp, and workers' comp does not necessarily mean that you're disabled.
Yeah. We have Eunice Mitchell. Can I choose an FIC location 6 hours away from hometown? You can choose any location to go to. You can choose any federal doctor to go to in any state, even if you live in another state.
So the rule says you have the right to initial selection of physician, meaning you can choose the first doctor to treat you. And it doesn't say you can choose initial selection of physician as long as they're in your own state. It doesn't say that at all. Like, you could be in Florida and go to Alaska. They don't like it, but the rule doesn't disallow it.
Correct.
So you can pick any doctor you want to pick.
When we first started doing this, we had 11 federal employees travel from South Carolina all the way down to Clearwater twice a month.
Yeah.
So, and they traveled. Since then, we have a location all the way from South Carolina to
and we don't
Florida.
Want that for you. I don't actually want you to have to drive hours to get to a doctor. I want you to be able to find somebody in your own town. Unfortunately, though, the kind of rule is there's not anybody in your town. And so you have to choose. People ask me all the time, how do I find a doctor? Well, go to Google and just Google OWCP injury doctor in your city and state. OWCP injury doctor in your city and state. So if you're in Clearwater, Florida, it's OWCP injury doctor, Clearwater, Florida.
Yeah.
And whoever wants to help you will be found with that search.
Yep. Tracy Maddox. Hello, Tracy.
What's up?
How long does my work have to respond to my doctor's modified work duties to put me back to work?
So the rule is this. When your doctor fills out a CA-17 or an OWCP 5C, but hopefully a 17, and they're telling you what you can do at work and your claim's accepted, then your supervisor is responsible for finding a job that matches your restrictions on your CA-17 or OWCP 5C. So they have to do that. And then if they can't, they've got to show that they made every effort possible. Now, when they're able to find that you have limited duty, then they have to show it to your claims examiner, and your claims examiner then gives you up to 30 days for your doctor to review it and make sure it's a safe job offer.
Yep.
Unfortunately, too many of you get told you have to sign it now, but that's not the rule, okay? It's not the rule. The rule says you have 30 days to review it with your doctor, and that's there to keep you safe. If you have a problem with this, file a grievance, but talk to your claims examiner and explain to them that your supervisor is pushing you to make a decision that might not be safe because they're not letting your doctor look at it.
Good answer.
I know a couple of things.
Judy, thanks for the Jacksonville OWCP office. Do I need to hire a lawyer for my back injury? I called a lawyer named Shapiro. He said it's not worth it. What is your take on the matter? Well, you're seeing the Jacksonville office.
So my take on it is you almost never need a lawyer. A lawyer is needed for just a few things, but typically you all think you need one because your claim's not accepted, when what you actually need is a doctor who knows how to get the claim accepted, who knows how to write the narrative that'll get it done. And if you have a lawyer who ends up finding one of my doctors, they just end up charging you for my doctor to do a job that should be free.
Right.
Now, we love OWCP lawyers. Shapiro's a good lawyer. Just by the way, you said that name, good lawyer. Not a knock on your lawyer, but all your lawyers are going to need a doctor who will write a narrative that'll do a good job.
So you might as well just go to an OWCP doctor.
Without which your claim won't get accepted. It doesn't matter how good your lawyer is because some doctor's got to write the narrative anyways.
Yeah. Shannon, hello from Jonesboro, Georgia.
What's up, Jonesboro?
Donna, hello from a small village in Northeast Illinois. Oh, a small village. Actually,
I didn't know they have villages up there.
I would rather live in a village. I think it's cuter.
Your dad all the time says the village he's from.
Yeah.
He always mentions village.
That's because that's the name.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Any suggestions about the situation I'm in? Was on my way to work in my POV and was T-boned by a 50,000-pound garbage truck. Holy SHIT. 3 inches behind my driver's door. Totaled my 2008 Jeep. She has a Jeep.
2018.
What was yours? What's ours?
16.
Yeah. Sent me to the trauma center from my pain on my right side. OWCP states there is no proof my injuries are from the impact. Tear in the shoulder, bulging disc in the neck, and nerve damage. Specialist did 17-page narrative, and they are still denying my claim. Yet USPS has taken me back with restrictions. Any help? Well,
write this down.
I don't know about a specialist writing a narrative, but
I can help.
I think Chris can help.
All right. So let's say that you're in a car wreck that day. And right before that car wreck, you didn't have any problems. You didn't have any pain. Everything was working fine. Your shoulders worked good, your back, your knees, everything worked fine. And in fact, when you went to sleep the night before, you felt fine. When you woke up that morning, you felt fine. When you showed up to work that day, you were just fine. You got into your vehicle, you were driving around and everything was good. And then boom, you got T-boned and you're not okay anymore. I wonder what happened.
So here's one thing. Your doctor, with your help on the statement, it should be in detail, like as Chris just said. What happened when you woke up from 5 a.m. this morning to the accident?
This person was not hurt yesterday, was
Correct.
Not hurt this morning, woke up this morning fine, drank coffee, everything was good, had some eggs for breakfast and everything was fine. Showed up to work and on the way to work had no problems. In fact, clocked into work and with the clock in arm didn't have a problem, but then had a car wreck and everything wasn't okay anymore.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened.
We understand that the specialist writes great consultation notes, As a narrative, as our doctors do, they write a story, and it's really based on what you tell them. If you just said, well, I just got into an accident today, they're going to write whatever.
But we do have to explain that you weren't hurt already.
Correct.
Everything was fine until you got in this car wreck, and it's not fine anymore. And I don't know why this seems like rocket science. It's easy to me, and this is how we write narratives, and this is how we get claims accepted. We just simply explain you weren't hurt before. Now you are. I wonder what happened.
So
it turns out you got hit by an 18-wheeler.
Our doctors don't have to write, 19, 20-page narratives, but they do tell a great story and exactly how Chris just explained it.
So don't let your doctor be a weenie. Yeah. Don't let him be a coward. Make him write a good, strong narrative. I wasn't hurt this morning when I woke up. I got a car wreck and now I'm hurt. I wonder what happened.
Yeah. And I'm shocked that a specialist actually wrote as many page narrative. I'm actually shocked. That's pretty good. But you may want to find yourself a DOL doctor and have the ortho and that doctor work together.
And it's not easy to find one, but it's really, really easy to find somebody who can't write a good narrative. And it sounds like you found somebody.
You guys remember last year we covered, I think, is it 7? The 7 doctors you should not go to. 6 doctors.
Yeah.
The specialists were one of them, meaning a doctor that will not understand Department of Labor and will not understand how to write a narrative. We're not saying not to go to a specialist.
No, a specialist does a great job with surgeries and other procedures, but they don't write great narratives because they're not trained.
Yeah.
And so they say, I can't help you. When all they had to do was say, you weren't hurt and then you got in a car wreck and now you are.
Right. We have Tish. Hello from Oklahoma. Tish, how are you?
What's up?
All right. What other questions, folks? Jamie Reed. I think the accident happened on the travel to work. Does that matter?
Well,
yes. And Jamie also lives in a small village in Michigan, Bellevue, Michigan. Thank you for what you do. You're
Jamie,
so welcome.
If you're a rural carrier, you're driving your own vehicle, you're probably covered if you got hurt on the way to work. If you're not a rural carrier, you're not driving your own personal vehicle, you're not required to drive it as a result in work, and on the way to work, you got in a car wreck, you may not be covered. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying you may not be. It really depends on your situation.
Yeah.
And I would need to know more information. You can be, but you're not necessarily covered on your way to work. And I don't like giving out bad information or bad answers, but that might be the answer.
So here's what you'll need to do if you haven't already. You do need to find yourself a federal attorney to help with the injury of that accident, not a state PI attorney. And a lot of you get this really confused, and then you get your claim messed up, and then we get the complaint that my case is screwed.
So don't call the PI lawyer on the intersection, on the billboard, at the corner. Go to Google and search OWCP workers' comp lawyer.
Or a federal attorney.
OWCP workers' comp lawyer.
The end.
That's your search.
Yeah. I mean, there's not that many federal attorneys nationwide. There's probably 50, maybe.
Yeah. Go ahead and just search that.
Just search it. Yeah. I'm telling you guys, I know there's a lot of you that are old school, because we're starting to fall into that category as well. AI. I went on AI and I said, find me all federal work comp doctors in Tampa. And it listed all of them. At the bottom of it, it says source. You click that and it actually gives you the locations, the website, the phone number, and everything. So do the same thing with finding a federal personal injury doctor. All right. We got Charles Williams III. I like that. Hello, I'm from North Carolina. I've been receiving therapy, which is about 384 miles round trip from my home for the past 11 months. Recently, I found out that I have a new claims examiner, and he sent me a letter saying he will no longer reimburse me for my mileage. He mentioned that I shouldn't be driving such a long distance for therapy and that I need to find a provider within a 75-mile radius. I was under the impression that I had to go to Charlotte for therapy because they helped me get my claim accepted. Can they require me to find a new provider?
So there's no rule that says 75 miles. That's not a rule. I don't know where that came from. You're allowed to choose any provider. The law says you have a right to initial selection of physician. Your supervisors have a rule that says they're required to tell you it's your right to choose a doctor. And then in the CA 810, it says that nobody can get in your way of your choice of physician. So you can pick any doctor. Do I want you to go someplace 75 miles? Of course not. I want you to go someplace 7.5 miles. I want it to be right next door. But unfortunately, most states don't have any doctors that'll help you. And so you don't have the option of choosing somebody that's less than 75 miles away.
Yeah.
And that's not your fault. You can go to the OWCP portal that's got a bunch of doctors, and all you get is a bunch of doctors that billed OWCP once, don't want to ever bill it again, but they're listed. You're really struggling finding doctors. This is why, like, you can go to my website and choose, or you can go to Google and go OWCP injury doctor in your city and state. But there's no rule that says you have to go someplace within 75 miles. And I dare you right now, find it and present it to me now. Present that rule to me right now.
Yeah, if that's in writing from OWCP DOL, let us see that.
And if the rule changed, then I'll accept it here, and I'll say I was wrong, and you stumped the chump. But it did not happen. It won't happen because the rule doesn't exist. I dare you, show it to me.
Donner, yeah, rule carriers are covered from home to work.
Yeah, because you're driving your own personal vehicle.
Yeah. Let's see. Rule carriers and POVs are covered to and from work if they stay on their line of travel. Mike Watson is a great federal lawyer for OWCP, by the way. Okay.
All right.
There you go.
We don't know Mike, but I'll take your word for it.
Shannon Sparks, why can't the doctor give you something for the pain to sustain? My case is denied now. I was asked how many Tylenol I take at one time, and they were shocked. I said, what do you want me to do? I have a function, and the doctor does nothing for me.
So we're not allowed to answer questions like that. We're not doctors, so we can't answer medical questions as to why they didn't give you certain medications. And I'm really sorry. I can't answer that intelligently.
But yeah, our offices do not prescribe pain medication.
But the medical doctors are allowed to prescribe it if they feel it's necessary. We just have a rule essentially that says we don't do pain meds unless they need to. We don't run the doctors.
Yeah, you just have to find yourself pain management doctor.
But the doctors are allowed to if they believe it's in your best interest.
Tess Price, what do I need to do? This is the start of my 2-year on workers' comp. What else do I need to do next?
Well, I have no idea where we're going with that.
She's been having workers' comp for her last 2 years. Okay, Tess, are you being treated anywhere?
If you've been on work comp for 2 years, my answer is...
And was your claim accepted?
Get your claim accepted and get back to work as soon as humanly possible. We're not the company doctor. We don't... Look, nobody would ever accuse me of being friends with your supervisors because I'm really mean to them and they deserve it. But I can tell you that you need to get back to work as soon as possible because your biggest problem is not the pain of the injury. It's the pain of the system. And so if you can get back to work and start getting paid by clocking in, I think your life was going to get better. And that's what we want. So although I'm not the company doctor, I do want you to get back to work as soon as possible.
Okay, so her claim has been accepted.
That's fantastic.
So if you're still doing therapy and you're not getting any better, it's a conversation for you to have with the doctor.
Yeah.
To put you at MMI maybe.
But if I'm you, I get back as soon as possible because clocking in is the easiest way to get paid.
Jenna, I had to call my claims examiner and ask about missing compensation from 11/24 to 12/24. I have an accepted claim. I filed multiple CA7s along with my updated CA17 and CA20 with everyone. Learned it all from the best, you guys. I was going to say, you sure know about all the forms in order. That's awesome.
So I know this one guy that teaches this stuff, and it's me.
Apparently, the compensation was denied because of insufficient medical documentation by my employer. Claims examiner said she's going to push it through for me. It's been a stressful process, but if it wasn't for you guys and your videos, I wouldn't have had a clue on how to do any of this.
Well, I will tell you, if the claims examiner is on board, you're in really good shape. Yeah. That's awesome. And the claims examiners we know are on board.
Yeah.
And they want to help you. So that's good news.
I have a spinal injury which will require surgery in the future. The injury causes issues with my hip and legs as well. The orthopedic surgeon said he won't do the surgery now because I'm too young and it will cause more harm than good. So it's physical therapy and pain management for now. My question is, will OWCP cover a future surgery if I'm released to full-time duty in between?
Yeah, so OWCP is going to cover you for whatever is necessary for the rest of your life related to that injury that was approved. So it was approved, you're going to be covered. I hope you don't need future surgery, but any surgery that will be medically necessary can be covered.
Tess said, yes, I want to, and I tried. No work. Thanks.
Yeah, that sucks.
What else you guys got?
You know, the deal with no work is like we tell you try to get back there so you can clock in, but your supervisors too often don't have it for you. And they're required to find any available job for you to do. But sometimes finding that job's hard and maybe like it's above their pay grade, so to speak. They can't figure it out. But they're required to look for the best possible job. And if not, then you're probably going to be paid to stay home. And we don't want that. We want you to go to work, get paid to go to work, but you may get paid to stay home.
Kathy, glad to hear you're feeling better. Tammy said, hello, glad you're feeling better. My whole house had it. It was horrible.
Yeah, this flu is BS.
So when we were in Utah, it happened that the boys left Saturday and we stayed another week. And that Sunday, from Sunday to Wednesday, I laid in that bed in Salt Lake without getting up because I was that sick. Come back home, still sick. Thought I was better. Got better for a day or two, and now I'm sick again. So this stuff is not playing. So please be careful. And we're lucky the other children's have not gotten sick yet from us.
I don't feel lucky. That's their problem.
Ivy Singh.
Ivy?
She said, hi, Chris.
Who's Ivy Singh?
So that's my mom, everybody. She only said hi to Chris and not me.
Well, that makes sense.
Wow.
I mean, I'd only say hi to me too.
Thanks, Ma.
Thank you, Mom.
Let's see what we got. Maria, someone reached out to me asking for your guys' information. I drop those flyers where I can.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
You.
And look, for those of you that are new, we're here just helping with whatever your OWCP issues are. And some people say, well, that guy, Chris, he sure seems a little bit smug and cocky. I know. I get it. And it's true when it comes to OWCP, right? Like, it's true. The end. So it's just a fact. So bring your questions. I do believe I'm the best in the world at this, and I will answer whatever questions you've got related to OWCP. I can tell you this: if Tom was sitting here, my partner Tom, you'd get the same answers, and I think he would be less cocky. I don't believe he would say he's the best in the world. I think he'd say he's real good at it.
But he's the best.
But right outside of me, he's the best. He's like easily number 2.
Tom, I hope you're hearing this. Donna said,
he is.
What about if management questions your medical restrictions, gives you a direct order to take package above the weight restrictions, and you get hurt? Well, I wouldn't freaking do it. I'm sorry.
I love this. No. You tell your supervisor, may I please see your medical license? Because how do they know that you can or can't do what your doctor says you can't do? So you'll also probably want to file a grievance because they're trying to push you above and beyond your medical restrictions, which they're not qualified to do because they're not the doctor that your doctor is, who set your restrictions based on medical limitations. And your supervisors don't have the knowledge to give you medical limitations. They barely can spell the word medical.
Wow. They barely can spell the word medical?
Yeah, it's MEDCL. I think is how they spell it. MEDCL.
This is so cool because, we keep telling you guys that we're on TikTok, and I figured it out today. We're on TikTok, folks. I'm watching it live with the whole 2 people that are on there. So we're on TikTok.
So welcome to you two.
Yeah, so this is where we're at, in case you didn't know. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram, Wednesday night OWCP chats. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So that's where you can find us. But I just scrolled over there, and we're on TikTok. All right.
To answer Keith's question, yes, you can choose any doctor you want. It doesn't even have to be a Federal Injury Center's doctor. You can choose anybody. And we respect that. We love that you have the right to choose any doctor you want. That's a big deal to us. And we want you to choose whoever you want, even if it's not us.
As long as the job gets done the right way.
Yeah, that's all we care about.
Number one, you shouldn't be paying a dime out of your pocket. And if you are, I think you need to leave that.
Donna said the postmaster called her a fraud.
You could tell the postmaster they're a fraud.
Well, I mean, I don't recommend that because like fighting sucks. But you're not one.
Right.
And I think it's important that you stand on that.
You know, give them the medical document. You can give them a CA-20 and show them that, yeah, I do have an injury and I'm not a fraud. So you can always do that. Maureen, my injury date was 10/15 of 22. They paid me the first 45 days after my injury and then after my surgery only. I just submitted a letter asking for my back pay from approximately January of 23 to July of 24, and they just sent me 13 pages of proof of income. I'm just wondering why they would only pay me after my surgery and not between if my case has been accepted from the beginning. Did you file your CA-7s?
So they're going to pay you all the way to the point that your claim is accepted. So let's say your claim is accepted. Your date of injury is last year, January. Your claim is going to be accepted for everything medically necessary from then till now. So that's going to be really important. I don't think it has anything to do with your surgery. That doesn't mean that your claim wasn't accepted based on the timing of the surgery, but they will pay for anything that is related to your work injury from the date of injury till now, as soon as your claim is accepted.
Yeah. Faith.
I hope that was clear.
I'm sorry that happened to you. And yes, you are able to go to another location if you'd like.
Absolutely.
And we're sorry about that.
And we encourage it. We just want the best for you.
Yeah. Donner said, but I did get hurt. Union won't get involved. Postmaster called me a fraud in his OWCP letter. So did you try the next step? If not your union president, then you go to your NBA. And if not your NBA, then you go to your national. So you may want to try that. I'm sorry that sucks.
But you know what? You're talking to two people that were watching TV yesterday, watching all of your national people, if you're AFGE, on TV, fighting their asses off for you. So we do know that there are people that want to fight for you. You just have to find them. So go find them. Don't give up because maybe somebody local doesn't seem to be motivated. Believe me when I tell you, you've got tons of people above that person who are hyper motivated. So go find those people. Trust me, I'm telling you. We were watching on TV yesterday, and they were all up there, and they didn't have to have their faces on the screen.
They all these AFGE NVPs, they were there.
They didn't have to do that.
No.
So they're sticking their neck out for you too. So I'm just saying there are some union people that are willing to go and fight.
You just have to find the right ones for USPS in your craft. But seriously, you go from your steward, union president, NBAs, then your national.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, and we hear all the good and bad things about all the steps you have to take, but you got to do it.
Somebody gives a damn. You just got to find them.
Yeah. Maureen said all CA-7s were submitted.
Okay.
There we go. Kim Neal Tucker. Funny, I have a good friend down in Pleasant Grove, Utah. That last name is Tucker, and it was my choir teacher too.
Yeah, my best friend's named Neil.
There you go.
All right, what we got?
Kim said, I had a rotator cuff repair. 6 years later, I reversed rotator replacement. Repair was covered, replacement denied. I fought for 2 years doing every single bit of paperwork required. Then sent me to another state for a second opinion after replacement was already complete. Bottom line for me was not to quit. 30 months later, I got $15,000 check. Don't quit. They try to beat you down.
So I wrote this book,
That
The 25
sucks.
Things You Can Do to Win in OWCP. And one of those things is never, ever, ever give up no matter what. So that's exactly right. If you never give up, this is the opportunity you have. So good job not giving up.
Jenna said, yeah, my local union won't get involved either. My steward hates it, but the higher ups told her to stay out of it. Messaged me for Devin Cassidy's number. He's national union guy.
Oh, brother.
he's the rep on my client. Let me tell you something. Devin Cassidy is one guy, and we know him personally. He's a nice guy. I know a lot of you
And he
say
knows
others,
his stuff, man. This guy knows his stuff.
but there's one Devin Cassidy, and whatever your craft amount of people for roll carriers are, let's just say 150,000 of you. He's one guy with 150,000 of you. So he doesn't have the easiest job.
So some of you are because I'm going to say something nice about Devin. Some of you are going to come and like try to take a shot at me, and you're not. I'm okay with that, but I have put myself mentally in his shoes and wondered what would I do if I was him, and I realized I would be.
He would jump off a bridge.
I'd be underwater.
Yeah,
because like I'm here helping you, and there's one of me and like 2.8 million of you. Inside the roll carrier craft, there's one of him and a whole bunch of you. So. Look, I'm just saying, like, Devin actually knows this stuff a lot.
He does.
I've had lunch with him a couple of times.
Yeah, we've gone to meet him.
And me and him see eye to eye on the best way to help you. But this dude is like, he's got one arm tied behind his back because he's one person and you're a bunch. So I'm just saying, take it easy.
And if you know anything about Pearl Jam, he looks like Eddie Vedder.
He looks just like Eddie Vedder. And I love Pearl Jam. But that's not why. But in all seriousness, and if you see Devin, tell him I said so. Like, I know he's working his ass off. He's trying his best.
Yeah.
But one dude with a whole bunch of you, I'm just saying, that's a hard job.
See, like this guy said, Devin is the most ignorant human I've ever spoken with. Again, one of him, 150,000 plus of you guys.
And look, I'm not trying to make enemies with you, so like, please don't make me your enemy. I'm just saying, like, I've been in that shoe, and I know what it feels like to have 2 million people you have to help, and you're one person.
Yeah.
And he's got like, I don't know, a few 100,000 people, and he's one person.
Like 150,000.
I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, this is a hard job.
Yeah, it is. For him, for one guy, it is.
And I think he's got one arm tied behind his back.
He does.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying who tied it there, but it seems like that to me because I know what that shoe feels like. Like, it's tough to be in that position.
Gerald Adams, how are you?
What's up?
Does DOL have a time limit to respond to reconsiderations? Great question, because we get that all the time.
They get to respond to it when they want to respond to it. There's no rule.
Yeah. Carly, oh, good. You both are feeling better. The word is
there.
Better. Better than dying? Yeah.
Trying not to cough into this microphone.
As you can hear us. Let's see. Devin isn't much help either. He only says orthopedists need to write a better narrative.
All right, we're not going to sit and badmouth Devin. Man, I'm just telling you all, like, please don't unfriend us and stop. Don't unfollow us. Only bad things are going to come from you. Don't be so mad because I'm saying nice things about Devin. I'm just telling you, you couldn't imagine what it would be like to have that responsibility.
I can't.
It's where, like, if he makes a mistake, it hurts your life. It's got to be tough. It just has to be hard.
And that is exactly what Chris said. The things he says, it literally weighs on somebody because you're asking for protection from a national guy, and he can only say and do so much.
And I can tell you that I answer these questions all the time, and often I think, okay, Chris, be careful.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hurt you. And I know that you can't go anywhere else besides here to get the answers that you're asking for. But, I mean, if there was another place you could go and you're a roll carrier, it'd be Devin. But he's, because he knows his stuff. It's hard. Like, you are struggling to get paid. Your supervisors are screwing you over. You know, you're trying to work a system that is painful to you. And I always say the pain of the system shouldn't be worse than the injury itself, but it is. And I'm your biggest fan. And believe me, I could go do anything but this. I do this. I'm your biggest fan. I'm just saying, like, what you go through is tough. It is so hard. And having somebody else say, let me help you navigate your life without screwing your life up, that's a lot of pressure.
It is.
I do it all the time. I'm doing it right now. So I kind of get it. That's all.
Jenny, my doctor told me my rotator cuff is more than likely torn and has to put in order for an MRI. I did ask him to fill out my OWCP paperwork, and the doctor said no problem. There was a $750 cash fee. I never heard such a thing. Can I switch doctors on my own? You can absolutely switch, and that is freaking crazy. $750.
Ask if somebody can switch doctors. Ask me.
Can someone switch doctors?
Yes.
And they don't have to pay $750?
They don't have to. It's up to you.
I'm just letting you know, none of our offices charge a dime.
Now, if they do, let me know, because that's against my rules.
We don't.
And I make the rules. We don't charge cash.
Yep. Eunice said, ditch that doctor.
Now, I'm not saying to ditch the doctor, but I'm telling you, if it's not working out for you and you can't afford it, you have options. That's the main thing.
Donna said, I think it's a lack of empathy, honestly. From the postal people, yeah.
It's a lack of empathy from everybody in the
everybody in this. Yeah. It starts from there.
It's your supervisors. Sometimes your union, not often, but sometimes, lots of times the doctors don't care. It's a tough situation to be in.
Christine Richards, and we do appreciate you, Chris.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I stick my neck out. When I say anything about unions, I understand I might be getting my neck chopped off. And so I don't mean that, because thank God the vast majority of you union folks actually want to fight for people. But I know supervisors that are being asses. I know some union people that are asses. I know tons and tons of doctors that are asses and their staff. And you're up against it.
Yeah.
You're up against it in a big way. So it's easy for me to say what I say, because I just live in the reality of where you're at. And it's happening. It's happening to you.
Capri Jackson. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
What's up?
I got an on-the-job injury in December. My supervisor was amazing, but he was out, and the postmaster put my time in incorrectly and now is refusing to do a pay adjustment. Any advice on what I should do? I contacted HR services and occupational health, who told her she needs to pay me, and still nothing. My union claims they can do nothing. Please advise.
So I know a lot of your union people, and none of them I know would say I can't do anything. The ones I know would grieve it and get you paid properly. That's it. Your pay would be coded correctly and you'd be paid correctly. And I think that's what you need to do. And I'm not a union person, so I can't tell you how to go do what I just said. But I can tell you that the union people I know would not stand for this. And you need to go find somebody who's willing to get you paid properly.
And Capri, you may also want to reach out to your claims examiner, because this question has come up in the past, and the claims examiner has done something to help certain people, but I don't know. I'm just saying, just reach out to them and see if there's
any. You have a right to get paid right. Period.
Any help that they can give you, and they will be the best ones to direct you where you need to go with this. Yeah. Seriously. All right. Tommy Lyman had a lot to say. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Did you not want me to?
No, I want you to. All right. So she's going to read something super long. I'm going to try to pay attention. But when you write long messages, I struggle. So right now, I'm just locking in. All right. Go ahead.
I found FIC about 15 years ago. I had no idea what to do about my paperwork related to the injury. Thanks to FIC, I learned what forms to do. Unfortunately, FIC had no locations in New York, but with Wednesday night chats and the help of my surgeon, I was able to get my case approved and 2 surgical procedures. I returned to full-time work in 2013. I touted FIC to any and everyone who would listen. It's funny because he was definitely one of our first supporters and viewers. I remember him.
Tommy's always been
there. Yeah. Fast forward to 2018, had another work-related injury to my right arm, and TFCC new CA1 submitted along with CA2 for the injury. Needed new surgery, but COVID got in the way. Delay. Finally, new surgery through my own insurance. Applied for and awarded SSDI in 2023. Medicare Part A, Medicare Part B awarded in 125. Never give up. I now need a wrist replacement, and I'm currently seeking approval from OWCP. Years and years of occupational therapy and medical treatments. I watched, I learned, I followed FIC advice, and feel without FIC, I would have given up. Best advice, never give up. Thank you for all you have done for me. Wow. That was so sweet.
So that's I could actually just stop. That's the best lesson. Never give up. So, Tommy's an example, and thank you, by the way, Tommy, for saying that.
That was really sweet.
But he's an example of what I say all the time. One of my 25 things is never give up, because when you give up, that is when they win. You give up, they win, period. You just gave up, so they win. But when you don't give up, they got to keep fighting. And we've seen this over and over, like over and over, of not giving up, and it makes them have to fight.
Yeah.
Which means you're fighting, but you're fighting, and guess who's fighting with you? Me. And it's really hard to lose when you're doing the right thing, getting the right information. So that's why you're here. Tommy, that was awesome.
Yeah, what he
Thank
said.
you for that. Listen to what he's telling
Yeah,
you.
what
Never give up.
Never give up. And he said, where did he learn everything from? Right here.
But never give up.
This is why we tell you guys, tell your friends, tell your coworkers. We could go to so many state conventions every year and national conventions and train a 3-hour class on OWCP. And when Chris gets up there and asks, how many of you have seen and heard Gini and I and Wednesday night OWCP chats? We literally, out of a room of 150 people or more, 10 people will raise their hand. Yeah. This is why we do what we do. It's an education page. It's to train you so you can handle this yourself.
And we love having you here.
Yeah.
And look, my biggest thing is you not losing anymore.
Yeah. So tell your friends. Every week, you guys should be checking out what our topics are going to be.
Yeah.
And like whenever we do Q&A, we don't care what question you have inside the scope of OWCP.
But Tommy, thank you so much.
Yes.
Like that was a really nice thing to say, because a lot of people just think, oh, who's this guy? And he's just talking. But you're somebody who can attest.
I remember
that it works.
It was Tommy. It was Jerry Gatewood. Mm-hmm. Like I remember the first when we did OWCP. Tammy.
Scott.
When we did OWCP chats, Chris was like, no one's gonna listen. No one's gonna watch.
Yeah, I didn't believe in me.
And so
teaching this stuff.
We went from 8 followers. We would be on there for an hour for 8 people every week. And we were at
to 14,300.
And now we are at 18,261 and growing.
I thought it was 14,000.
With it's 18,261. Nice. And we have about 60 franchises, all because we decided to do chats. And so this is why we tell you guys to come on here. Come on here. Click the follow button, accept the invite so you don't miss our post. You don't miss where we're going to be if we happen to be doing a meet and greet. You don't miss when we're going to be at a state or national convention. So this is where you find all the information.
And in 2016, so Gini comes to me and she goes, hey, you ever heard of Facebook Live?
He just looked at me like I was crazy.
I'm like, look, I've heard of Facebook, but I've only had it for a couple of years because I didn't care about social media. I still don't care that much. And she was like, let's do this Facebook Live thing. I'm like, this is crazy. What do you want to talk about? Work comp. I'm like, who in the world is going to come and watch a show about work comp? This is going to be the biggest failure of all time. We had 500,000 people who viewed it last month. 500,000 people in 28 days, to be correct. So it turns out that you guys care about it. And this was all her idea. So everyone give her some love. Like all the hearts go to her. No, seriously, because I told her, no, this was never going to work. And she told me that I was crazy, which, by the way, has happened a couple of times in 9 years, that I was wrong. This is just one of those times I was wrong. Now, I don't remember the other times because it's probably false. I was probably never wrong before. But on this, I was wrong.
He was definitely wrong.
Well, I was wrong on this because we literally get 500,000 people a month watching this. So if you're here, why are you here? Because you're done getting screwed over in OWCP. Yes. And if you have a problem tonight, you don't have it tomorrow. Because if you ask your question tonight, I'm going to answer it. And your supervisor will not have a better answer. Your claims examiner, we love, they won't have a better answer. But they'll be like, oh, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Whatever Chris said. Because that's what we're doing here. So tell your friends, you need to share this. Let your coworkers know that we're here, because if they get an OWCP work injury, chances are that their life is going to spiral out of control. Mm-hmm. And I can fix it.
Nicholas, I did get your message today, and I did convey the message to Chris. We're gonna look into all of that you messaged me, so we are able to understand it ourselves with the change that they've done. And that way we can learn the new forms and how all of this has to be handled. So we will come live with that. And we are, yes, planning to do more podcasts because our podcast guy is going to probably wring our necks if we don't.
Well, and our podcast guy is Robert. Robert just today was telling me, Chris, nobody makes OWCP sound interesting like you do. You take a boring topic and you make it interesting. And he's probably right. Like I do, for sure. Because this is a sucky topic. If you're a federal employee and you got hurt at work, things aren't going good for you right now.
No.
But if you can figure out how to work this system the way I'm telling you to work it, you're probably going to be okay. And that's what this thing's about. So whether you're here because you need it or a friend needs it, let people know. Yeah. Nobody needs to get screwed over in this system.
When you go to work tomorrow, you should be telling your friends, pull your phone out, go follow Wednesday Night OWCP Chats. Again, we're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok at Breaking OWCP under Chris's.
And who's this guy, Chris Helms? Who is this guy?
And we're on Facebook, all these different pages. We're on Breaking OWCP, we're on Federal Injury Centers, we're on Wednesday Night Chats, we're on Sarojini Helms. It's not like you can't find us. So we're everywhere.
I've literally written every book on the topic, and I don't really care about credit. It doesn't matter to me. When your claim gets accepted, that's a credit I want. But that's what you're here for. Because getting your claim denied, that's some bullshit you shouldn't have happen.
Yeah.
And I get told all the time, you have to stop talking like that. That's how I feel. You should not get denied in OWCP. It should never happen, but it does happen. But for federal injury centers, we win like 97% of the
time. Jenna said, thank you for this comment, Tommy. I felt like giving up many times. I received from backlash in the beginning of this journey. I was beyond stressed out. I became more and more depressed, but somehow I held it in there. Chris and Gini's videos gave me so much hope, took a leap of faith, and I cannot show my appreciation enough for them. You know, when people say that, it's so heartfelt to us because we're not looking. We understand you get hurt. We got injured while we were on vacation, and we get sick and we fall at home or whatever it is. But, it's not like something we have to still go to work and clock in and somebody having to tell us we can't do this or we can't do that. So when you guys tell us this, these words like this, we feel so humbled that we've been doing this for almost 10 years and it's been worth every minute of doing it, from the 8 people to 18,000 people to the 500,000 people in the last 28 days to having 60 franchises and more coming. It's been a heck of a ride and we're so thankful. And you never have to show it the way we want you to show it. Tell your friends so they don't wind up in a bad situation like any of you are in.
So we're just going to wrap it up here. This is my favorite thing.
But I'm not done.
No, you're pretty close.
Okay.
My favorite thing is to help. I am the best in the world at this. And I know for sure whatever problem you're having, I can fix it.
He can.
And your friends deserve the help that they need to. So you got to just let people know. We'll be back next week.
Yeah.
And for a few weeks following, like we're actually going to be here for a while. And you need to let your friends know to come and stop having the problems they're having in OWCP. This should not happen anymore. You have a responsibility to help your friends.
I can only share to so many groups that you guys allow me to share this stuff. I share twice a week the topic we're going to talk about and the live video, but I'm not in everybody's Facebook group. You're welcome to add if the admin is okay with it, because I only share 2 times a week, and share it for us. So I mean, that's how that'll be our appreciation for you doing, because there's a lot of groups that still don't know who we are, a lot of people that don't even know that there's this out there. So,
and if you want to have a really good time, tell your supervisors that we're here, and let them know that you're going to tell your friends, your coworkers that need the help to come watch Chris, because your supervisors are going to lose all their power, all of it.
And just here, of it. This is what you can tell your supervisors. Wednesday night OWCP chats sometime in April, because that's the next quarter, as we do woodshed night, where we take management
out behind the
woodshed.
They're welcome back there.
I guess you're not allowed in it. So
no, inside is where the bourbon's at. We don't share that, but we take you out back and teach you the lessons you need to learn so you stop screwing over your employees.
So April will be doing that. So let's get these questions finished up. Tommy said, I started a group for letter carriers just to make sure I could share your page and what you taught me. We have just 4,500 or so members and deal with all the things postal, but FIC is always my first and only recommendation for any injured carriers, clerks, and others who are there. Well, thank you. You should add us onto that page.
Yeah, and we love that so much because we're probably the only group that you will come across that genuinely just wants to help you, and there's nothing in it for us.
It's not about competition here, about other doctors' offices versus FIC. It's not that. We're just here to train you and educate you and give you your roles, rights, and regulations that you should know.
I have no offices in Iowa, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, but I've helped countless people in those states get their claims accepted.
And got their claims accepted, yeah.
Because winning, that's what we want to do. And yeah, tell your friends. That's why you're here. Because you should stop losing in OWCP.
Capri Jackson, sorry. I go to my office and tell everyone, you guys are the best and helped me so much in only 1 month just by watching your lives.
That's what's up.
Thank you. Carly, I say it to everyone. They could have a splinter and I'm going to listen to Chris and Gini. Carly's so cute. Carly,
we love you.
Is a union steward, cute little 4 feet little union steward.
So you keep saying little. I just think she's so a badass.
She is. But she's got so much voice
me, a little bit little.
And power in Redding, California. Yeah. A little state, a little city.
I'm not messing with her. And if you're like a member of her union, you're getting help.
I would not want her on my bad side. Carly, you heard that? Tommy Lyman, never give up. Go to archives. You will find what you need. Never give up.
That's right. Never give up. Thank you, Tom.
Don Hess, I heard about you both from our union president. Who is your union president? I was a shop steward for many years. Before I was injured, we received your book and information, and I've been following ever since. An educated carrier is the best defense. I have been out since 2021, and knowing the truth, knowing how to navigate to the system has kept me paid and able to see the right doctors. Thank you. That's so sweet. That is so sweet that a union president actually told her.
Thank you for saying that
about us.
And that's why I wrote the books. It wasn't like, doesn't help me. This is the first one. Yeah. Whatever. Second, third, fourth. It doesn't help me to have these books. It helps you. So just take a look.
This year, 2025, before I knock him out in the face, he will write the last book on OWCP.
It's almost written.
It's already written, but he's going to publish it, and it'll be a thick book, hard copy. It'll be a little bit more than the rest of the books, but it will have all of these inside that book, plus the final chapter?
It is the last book I'm ever going to write on the topic.
Yeah.
And I love everybody. I love you so much. And I wrote all these. This one I wrote during the first 3 days of COVID. Mm-hmm. And then a few months later, I wrote this one. And then I wrote this one, and I put her picture on it so people would want it. And then I wrote this one and made sure her picture was on it still so people would want it. But the truth is, all kidding aside, nobody's ever written a book on this topic that was useful to you. And I've written 4. The 5th one will tie them all together. You'll never have to buy 1, 2, 3, or 4 because you'll have 5, and the 5 will have all 4 in it. And it will be the most powerful thing that ever happened in OWCP.
It's going to be really cool.
With this 5th book, you can't lose in OWCP unless you can't read English.
I mean, the words are big words, and it's literally whenever he talks, I always tell him when he says, put it in 4th grade language so you understand. We didn't say that to make you guys feel like you're stupid, but
no, not at all. In fact,
is very complicated.
So the bottom line is, I'm not going to live forever. One day I'm going to die.
No.
Seriously, I'm going to. One day is going to happen. And
2099.
But these books will be left here, and nobody will ever have denied claims again.
Yep. Tess Price. Yes, the pain is so bad. I have fought the feeling to the end of the pain, but they have and would win. Thanks for my FIC in Forest Park. I have got where I am today. Thank you all for everything. Well, that's very sweet.
Glad to hear that.
Christina, hi guys. Glad for the live video tonight. I will be telling people about you guys because most of the C's I come across gets denied all the time now. Your videos will help. Thank you. That's all we want you guys to do. Everybody that's on here, go back to work tomorrow. Take your friend's phone, take your coworker's phone, go to their Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, wherever, and just follow, and we will be on there. Carly, love you both. I'm glad you got yourself time for vacation. Well, thank you.
We love you too, Carly.
Diane, looking forward to getting a copy. Richard,
we'll let you know, Diane.
Need help with the CA7s. Okay, we're going to actually, when we were in Utah, the APW union, one of the girls, shout out to Nicole, actually, because she put all of it together.
For sure.
Said that is one of the hardest forms you guys have to deal with when trying to fill forms out because it is so complex. Yeah. So what I told Chris that we're going to do, we are going to somehow either share the screen on the computer so it's big and you're going to see it. And Chris is going to go line by line explaining the CA7 and what we need to do. We're going to start doing that with more of the forms for you guys, especially when you guys are filling out CA1s, trying to fill out and checking off COP and certain boxes that you miss, because Chris teaches this when we do state and national training. So pay attention. Maybe next week I will let you know. But we're gonna do that. We gotta work it out so we make sure that you guys, instead of seeing our faces, you're gonna be seeing the actual CA7 on the screen, or we can split the screen up. So that's probably what's coming next week.
Well, and we'll have Tom.
We'll have Tom, our other partner.
So Tom, my business partner, made the original video on how to fill out a CA7. Nobody's better at it than him. So if you want to get paid, and I'm not saying you want to get paid, but if you want to get paid, like if somebody wants to get paid.
I want to get paid.
But let's say they want to get paid.
They definitely want to get paid.
Then they have to listen to Tom next week. All right. So, hey, that's it. Look, it's 9 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock.
Wait, it's last question, guys. Milton, you're lucky. I just had an inlingual hernia repair. I'm using my sick leave. I wonder if I made a mistake. Could this be considered as on-the-job injury? Actually, we've had a lot of people that we've known had inlingual hernias covered by OWCP. Depending on what has happened.
Milton, we can't tell you that it's work-related. What we can tell you is to go talk to your doctor and find out if it is. If it's work-related, you have to find out if it's a CA1 or a CA2. Is it a CA1, it happened in a single shift, or CA2, it happened over 2 or more shifts. You have to find that out from your doctor. But inguinal hernias are covered by OWCP all the time. We are not saying that it is or is not work-related. We're saying go talk to your doctor and find out if it is. Fill out your CA1 or 2 on eComp according to what your doctor tells you to fill out.
Yeah. All right, guys, don't forget, go back to work. Everybody that's on here, share.
Did you just tell everybody to go back to work?
Yeah, go back to work. Tell your friends.
Clock in and get paid.
To follow us, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. TikTok, it's under Breaking OWCP. I'm going to have Chris change it to Wednesday Night Chats.
Breaking OWCP.
But that's where you can find it on TikTok, Breaking OWCP. And we will see you guys. And a lot of you are saying that form stresses you out. Okay, we are going to start working on some of these forms so we could go line by line with you guys. So if that's what you guys want, we will go ahead and talk about CA7s next Wednesday night. Get a copy, print out a copy, so as we're going over it, you can go over it as well. TikTok, yes, Carly.
All right, kids, we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Wednesday night, OWCP Chats with Chris and Gini, 8 p.m. Eastern.